In the Young Scholars Program, we take a whole family, whole child approach to walking alongside families. This means that we not only field questions about academics, but also about the social emotional dynamics that come with being profoundly gifted. Recently, a parent shared that their young scholar had been attending a gifted school, but for this year, they switched to homeschool. While they were at the gifted school, their son did have a community, but they've been ghosted now that they're homeschooling. With the boy's birthday coming up, the parent didn't know how to address the situation or talk about this. So here's Laurel to share her thoughts, insights, and ideas. Stay tuned after the video for more information on the benefits of the Young Scholars Program and how you can directly access features like these virtual events.
That's a really hard one. Yes, and my child has some social anxiety, and this type of rejection hits him really hard. Yeah. Yes. Who wouldn't be hurt by that, right? You thought you had built a community that was really there for you to sustain it. And now it isn't there anymore, right? So there are a few avenues to go down to through. And I won't pull all the resources for this because I know these ones are scattered about in different places, but we will do it in the follow-up. So one thing to talk about is types of friends, and the types of friends or the level of friendship that your young scholar is ready for versus what even their other gifted peers might not be ready for. So many 10-year-old young scholars are ready for a deeper level of friendship than neurotypical students. And even, I don't know the range of students at your kid's school, but even other gifted kids, right? So the higher level of friendship that we're talking about that your young scholar may be looking for are those people that you can sustain a relationship with, even with some distance, right? In schools, we are taught how to be friends with people that we are constantly next to. It is a different social skill to be able to maintain friendships when you aren't just in the same room with them 40 hours a week, right? Those skills many students don't even begin to build until college. Even though they might be developmentally ready for that growth earlier, they just don't need to have that skill so they don't grow it. So building those friendship skills, building those abilities, you can talk to your son as like, that is this particular skill, and they are kind of lagging in that skill. So it's not like a moral judgment on them. They're not bad. It's just a skill that we haven't yet developed. And I know, right, your child is giving their former friends an opportunity to grow that skill. That's such a great gift that he's trying to give, but they may not see that as, they may not interpret it in that way. The other thing that unfortunately happens when parents and families, the whole unit, makes different educational choices for their child, other families can interpret that as a judgment on them, when it's like, has nothing to do with you, other person. We are just doing what is best for us. We're not telling you that everything that you're doing is wrong. Unfortunately, we see that time and time again as like your personal decision is somehow making a judgment on others. And that's really hard to explain because of course it isn't, but that doesn't change how other people view it. And I know so many of us wish we could control the actions of others, and we can't. So what can we do in kind of thinking through this with your child, right? If we know that, if we know we can't control what other people do. What can we control? So you've sent the invitations, right? You have done your due diligence. They have not responded. So we can seek out other people to be friends with, right? We can start there. We'll send in the follow-up. We have put together, because socialization and finding friends in homeschooling looks different than it does in public school or private school, brick and mortar school of any kind. So we have put together a like how to find social connections outside of school, because it is very possible. It just looks different, and you got to look at for it in other places. So that's one thing that we can do. Another thing we can do, if those school friends are doing anything in particular other than school with each other, we can join that or provide more opportunity with that. So if the school friends won't commit to a birthday party, but they all like, first thing that's coming to mind today is like going to the trampoline park. Birthday parties come with more expectations of like presents and like specific kind of party things. The parents might feel like they need to come or something like that. But just like, hey, we're going to the trampoline, we'll be here at this time, come and join us if you're free. That may be a lower stakes sort of situation that maybe you can rekindle some of that. But it can also get to be a drag if you're the only one doing all the planning all the time, right? And you're like, I'm making this work, and you're not putting in. So then we might think of like, okay, so if birthday isn't going to be exactly what we imagine it, because we can't control the things of other people, what can we do to make our birthday really special and still a celebration for us, even if we feel like, man, I wish I could be with my former friends. And that may be kind of shifting your rituals or traditions around birthdays to be something that's more about celebrating you and celebrating your growth and getting excited about the next year. One of the things, if you've kind of consistently had birthdays in one place, just going to a different place, doing something that you wouldn't be able to do with a bunch of friends at the same time has been something that other young scholar families have done, or finding a special place that's the birthday place, and maybe something consistently where people come together that it would be special, and they might remember. For the thing I'm thinking about is my family goes to a little backwoods retreat, and some of the families have been going to the same place the same week of the summer for decades, and now we're on like third or fourth generation. And so that's like you come to the week, and all of those people, even if you don't see them the rest of the year, they're your little cabin family. But I'm also thinking like going to a specific restaurant. We have a great restaurant here in Reno that's called Casali's Halfway House because it's halfway between Reno and Sparks. That's been a family-owned institution, and so many people have birthdays there. And when you have your birthday there, you get to meet everybody, and it's just like a great environment that's really about celebrating you. So finding some things like that, I feel like I'm not doing the best job on that last one to explaining it, but I hope you kind of get like the direction that I'm going in. That may be also something to think of. Yeah. And then also finding some role models or some avenues for kind of understanding yourself as a homeschooler in general, and all the awesomeness that that brings. I know that many students struggle, kind of like they may feel like they're the only homeschooler, or even if they're connected to a homeschooling group, they're like, we feel like we're doing this alone, because there's all these kids and all of this culture around going to school, right? Like there's a billion TV shows about going to school, right? Whether that's elementary, middle school, high school. There's not a lot of stuff about homeschoolers, but there's some. There is some. So we'll put together some resources on that, of like kind of ways of exploring that, like through books or other media, of like there are homeschoolers that have gone before, and this is a really common homeschooling thing that you run into. There are other kids that have grappled with this and gone through this. So you're not alone, and it's not like a you thing. It's something that happens to most homeschoolers that have attended a school and then left. So we'll put together some of that stuff for you as well. And I love your idea here of like, maybe I'll make a party that can be open, farm visit, outdoor school party, swinging, arcade, and leave an open invite to those kids that he misses. I love that. I love that idea. Yes. And kind of thinking through of like what that's going to look like, and really thinking about who can you invite that can really be celebrate him that day, in addition to his former classmates. You probably maybe invite family, but is there something also like, does he have a favorite teacher from the past that might be willing to come? Is there like, is he connected to like the public librarian? Like I know a lot of our young scholars really connect with their librarian, especially our homeschoolers, or other people like that. Are there people that he'd be excited to see show up for him outside of your amazing family, and could really give him that kind of social boost?
Thank you for watching. Check out the cultivated resources we have on our Davidson Gifted blog linked below. The Davidson Young Scholars Program provides our members with opportunities to connect, engage, and access a range of family services to support them on their profoundly gifted or twice exceptional path. Want to learn more? We host application Q&As for families to learn more about our program, testing requirements, and the application. Please visit our website, davidsongifted.org, and find the next available Q&A on the upcoming events tab. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments.